girl, go say hello. Look, you go say hello to the camera. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't met this gorgeous little puppy before, this is Nugget. She's a 1.5-year-old Hungarian Vizsla that Reese and I bought. We got her, probably bought her like 2 years ago, but we picked her up when she was 8 weeks old. So we picked her up around, I think mid-November 2021, I want to say. So I've just got her in here, just in her little bed off to the side. That's enough. Sit. Welcome back to my channel guys. If you are new here, my name is Jasmine and you've just met my gorgeous little puppy Nugget. In today's video I'm going to be popping on a little bit of makeup because I am weirdly needing to put on some makeup so I can take a photo of myself for something in my life outside of this. I actually need to take a photo of myself to send off somewhere, so I'm going to put on a little bit of makeup to do that. But I thought as well, whilst I'm putting on a little bit of makeup, I've planned to do a video like this for a little while now. I was originally planning to do it with Reese, but we've kind of just never got around to it, and now it's hitting the 1.5 year mark of having Nugget, and if I was to do a video saying our first year with Nugget, it wouldn't really make too much sense if it's getting too far after that. The makeup look I'm going to do is going to be very basic. It's not going to be anything special. It's just kind of something extra to do whilst I talk about our life so far with Nugget. She's just sitting down beside me. You can't see her right now. I'm just going to take a video of what she looks like because she's so cute. Hi. She's so cute. Yeah. Quickly before we jump into this video, if you are new here and you haven't subscribed already, please do so down below. It's completely free to do and it means the world to me to watch our number grow. And if you don't already, you can follow me on Instagram if you like. I do post on my stories there a little bit more often than I do here. But without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Alright, so for foundation, I'm just going to be using my drugstore foundation that I use every single day on a day-to-day basis. It's nothing special, but I find it works the best for me. Also, don't mind these dots here. I was just driving earlier and it's my sunglasses mark. But this is my absolute go-to. I only buy it when it's half price. It actually goes on special quite a lot and I would never reach for anything else on a day-to-day basis. I love it. I've tried other brands and other types of foundations, but this I find is my absolute favourite. The shade is perfect for me as well. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in the shade 1112 Natural Ivory. So I just pop a little bit on that onto a sponge and kind of just shove it all over my face. I'm also going to be using a little mirror as well, so if it looks like I'm looking back and forth, that's why. But on to some puppy things. I've thought of a few tips and also some of my expectations that I had before we got Nugget and kind of what the reality actually was. So I think I might go through the tips first. So my number one tip now since having Nugget is 100% with my experience so far, pet insurance is very much worth it. Now, if you've been on my channel for a little while now, or you've looked back on other dog videos I've done involving Nugget, I want to say maybe a year ago-ish, maybe a little bit more. We had an incident with Nugget where we ended up having to rush her to an emergency vet. So I won't talk too much about it because I did do a whole video about that. So if you want to find out more about what happened, or you're just a bit interested in what of a nutcase and stress puppies can be, then you can definitely go check that out. I'll leave it down in the description box below. In short, Reese and I had come home from a night out and Nugget wasn't acting herself at all. Very fatigued, very slow, not excited to see us, nothing like that. And every time we kind of touched her around the belly, she was crying a bit. Nugget, hey! It had turned out that Nugget had actually eaten a rock. So we had rushed her to the emergency vet and $8,000 later, she had had surgery to remove it, and if we hadn't removed it, it probably would have killed it, which is kind of really sad and scary to think about. But at that time, Reese and I didn't have any pet insurance. Some people, we'd thought about it and some people had asked us if that's something we were going to do. But my family growing up, we never had pet insurance and other people I'd spoken to never had it either. So I didn't really know if it was worth having. And say my older family dog Zoe, she has never needed to go to the vet except checkups now and then. She's never had to go to the vet for an emergency. So yes, Nugget on the other hand is just a handful. And clearly we should have just got pet insurance for her. So we do now have pet insurance for her. And coincidentally enough, we haven't had to use it yet. So thanks Nugget, you could have told us beforehand. I haven't used this concealer before, but I'm going to give it a go. So it's the designer brand Master Illusion High Coverage Concealer in the shade Ivory. And I'm just going to pop this just a little bit under my eyes. Yeah, I haven't used this before, so I don't really know how good it is. Oh my gosh. That is so light and it's so thick. Did it say it was high coverage? That's why I shouldn't have used it under my eyes. It is a high coverage concealer, so that makes complete sense for why it's so thick. So my second tip that I've written down, if you're going to consider getting a puppy, is definitely take them to puppy school. Now, at the start, we was thinking that we didn't really think Nugget really needed to go to puppy school because we only really wanted her to do certain things. You know, we just wanted her to be able to sit, lie down and shake if we needed her to do it. So we thought we could have done that all on her own, so we didn't actually take her to puppy school. And now it's obviously too late to take her. Now the downside of us not taking her to puppy school is that she isn't the best socially around other dogs. So if you're not wanting to take your dog to puppy school to learn how to do tricks, I definitely would recommend taking your dog to puppy school literally just to socialise. Nugget can be very excited around other dogs and, you know, but she can come across too full on to other dogs. So if we have her running around in an off-lead oval, she absolutely loves doing it, runs around, runs up to other dogs. No issues running up to other dogs, but she kind of doesn't know boundaries and sometimes they can snap at her because she's just a little bit too much. Definitely would recommend taking your dog to puppy school if you can afford it, of course. Some of the ones around my place I was looking into was actually quite expensive, and that was also another deterrent for us being like, oh, maybe we don't need to, but if I was to do it again, I would definitely get her into puppy school. Okay, so for contour, I'm just going to use my favourite Mecha Max contour stick in the shade medium. I have a dog sniffing my toe and it's tickling me. Can you stop? But I usually just put these, I used to put it a lot lower, but I've actually started putting it high up onto my cheekbones because I find that once you blend it in, it kind of just gives you a more, I don't know, structured look, I guess you could say. But once again, I don't really know what I'm talking about, so also don't take my advice. Another tip that I would give if you're considering getting a puppy or if you've recently got one, this is something I wish we started doing a lot earlier on. And I know Reese feels the same too. But that would be to start trimming your dog's toenails, fingernails as well, just nails I guess, would be to start trimming their nails when they're a puppy. Growing up, I don't think we ever really trimmed our dog's nails, or if the vet did it, we really didn't really have much to do with it. But since having Nugget, her nails are always scratching the floorboards. They're quite long and they can scratch you quite easily as well. And I've always been too scared to cut her toenails myself because I'm always scared I'm going to cut too short. Because I know if you cut too short, you can also make them bleed. So Reese had actually taken her to the vet to see if they could try and trim them for us. And they actually said it had gotten to a point where they will forever be a little bit too long because we left it too long to start trimming them, and that their nail bed actually grows up with the nail. So if you can start trimming your dog's toenails at home when they're little, it will honestly save so much hassle in the future, and they'll actually be used to having their toenails trimmed. Whereas every time we try and trim Nuggets, she just will not keep still. She cries as if we're murdering her. It's so much effort. And we've actually found the only way we can really trim her toenails is when we're giving her a shower, because she can't escape and she actually finds the water relaxing. So that's the only time we can do it. So if you are yourself having trouble trimming your dog's toenails, try doing them when you're in the shower. So for blush, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I usually use a cream blush, but today I'm wanting to use one of the blushes from the Revolution blush palette. And I think I'm just going to go in with this shade up here. It's so pretty. I used to hate blush because my skin naturally can appear quite red and sunburnt. So I used to hate putting on blush, but now I just love it. I do put a little bit on the bridge of my nose and kind of just bring it up my cheekbone. So another tip that I have if you're going to get a dog is to definitely buy your food in bulk. We found at the start we were just buying her canned food and dry food just from Coles, which is also perfectly fine if that works for you. But we found it was actually you were spending more money. Nugget, stop. We found that it actually added up to be a lot more expensive to keep buying from places like Coles or Safeway. So I don't exactly know the brand where Reese buys them from, but we just buy her. Our canned food is Optimum and the dry food is, can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's like a big black bag with like a red logo. I'll try and put it on the screen here if I remember so you can see which one we use for her. So I think it might be Pet Circle Reese uses. I don't know if it's Pet Circle or some brand that gets delivered that sometimes he gets from there. Honestly, the pet food side of things is kind of Reese's thing, so I'm not quite sure where he gets that from, but we always buy in bulk and it ends up being a whole lot cheaper in the long run. For powder, I'm going to be using the Revolution Translucent Setting Powder. I usually do use a Laura Mercier powder, but I'm wanting to use something a little bit different today because why not? So I'm just going to put that, oh god, it looks terrible. I think I just need to blend it out because it looks, honestly, just I shoved a whole heap of powder on my face and didn't blend. Okay, so for like a bronzer slash highlighter kind of, I'm going to be using the Revolution and Roxy Contour Highlighter Palette. And I'm just going to be going in with this shade right here. So I'm just going to be taking some of that on a big curved brush and kind of just putting that up where I've already put that other contour stick as well. Very nice. I feel like this camera makes me look very pale, so maybe I'll just turn this light down a little bit. I think that's a bit more true to what it looks like because I think it was just washing me out, that light. So the final tip that I could think of at this point, I might come up with other tips and maybe I'll put a little section on my Instagram stories as like a highlight of some tips I have if you're going to get a puppy. But my final tip is to buy toys that are made of like a very hard material. I don't know what the material is actually called, but it's just not, don't get those soft toys because our experience with Nugget, she just completely destroys them. And obviously I know it depends what kind of dog you have in terms of their behaviour, because I know Luna, so my parents got Nugget's sister from the same litter, they got them at the same time. They can buy her soft toys and it takes her ages to destroy them, whereas if we give Nugget soft toys, she destroys them within like 10 seconds. We found we just got to get a hard toy, so she's settling down now, so I don't really want to get them up to show you. But there's like, I think they were from Kmart, to be honest. They're just like they're not like plastic, but they're just a very hard material and it's taken her ages to get through them. So if I can figure out where they're from, I'll link them down below. Now for eyebrows, I'm not actually going to fill them in because I got them waxed and tinted the other day and they're actually looking very nice. So all I'm going to do is go in with the Revolution eyebrow gel, and I don't know if there's a shade to it. I think it's clear, which is good. So it's very tiny. I don't know if it's the travel version, but it's tiny. I really don't think it's the big size. I'm just gonna push my eyebrows up and get them into a bit more of a better shape. That's better. So for eyeshadow, I'm just gonna be using, I know a lot of this is Revolution, but they're just stuff that I hadn't reached for in a while and I wanted to play with them in this video. But I'm gonna be using the Revolution and Soph palette, the Extra Spice palette. So it's got these shades here. And I'm mainly just going to be using these light browns, so like the cookie dough and cheesecake shades, I think. So I want to keep it quite natural looking. I don't want it too much. Okay, I'm just going to start with that cookie dough shade, which is that lighter brown. And I'm just going to put that pretty much just all over the base of my lid, I think. And just blend it around in the crease. I think I'll go into some of the expectations now that we had before we got Nugget. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I got a haircut the other day. And I got bangs. Whenever I get a haircut, I usually get them to shape my face, usually from like around here, but I wanted something a bit different. I wanted them a bit shorter. And I got them from like my nose down. I like them. I don't know. I wasn't sure at the start because if I tuck it behind my ear, it just falls out, but I think I like them. Let me know what you think. So some expectations that we had before we even got Nugget was that we honestly expected that she would wee and poop inside the house a lot. Because we always just heard horror stories and obviously experience with puppies growing up in my house. You know, you would wake up in the morning and there would be some poo on the tiles when you go out from where they've been sleeping, and kind of just the nervousness of having to clean up wee and poop in the house. However, our reality with that, and obviously every dog is so different, I think we only had one real accident with Nugget in terms of her peeing or pooping inside the house. She's never pooed inside the house. She's only peed inside the house twice. One of them I'll take the blame for because I was actually sitting on the couch and she was sniffing around, and that should have been a sign to me that she wanted to go out and pee. But I just didn't think anything of it and she peed luckily on the wood, the floorboard, so it was fine and easy to clean up. But then the other time was out of nowhere, and it wasn't even when she was a puppy. I would say she was probably like, I guess still a puppy, like 9-10 months old. Out of nowhere, we were playing with her on the floorboards again. And out of nowhere, she just starts peeing. She gave us no warning. She just started peeing out of nowhere. So we'd say, yeah, we've only had that one accident with her. But considering that was like the only time, we're extremely lucky. Our personal experience was we didn't really have any issues with that. I think we just got real lucky on that one. So I'm just going to go in a bit more with the shade. Actually, I think I'm going to, chocolate orange. No, with the shade cheese. Oh, hello. With the shade cheesecake up here. Another expectation was that we thought we were going to have at the start a lot of sleepless nights. So we actually decided after doing research, obviously you do your own research and you decide what you think will be best for your dog and your lifestyle. But we decided that the best thing for our lifestyle and what we wanted from Nugget was to crate train her at night. And honestly, looking back, that's one of the best things I think we ever decided to do, and so glad we stuck to it because it's been so worth her being crate trained. I think the reality of that was us expecting that we were going to just have sleepless nights for a while. Obviously, the first few nights she was in the crate, she cried a lot. Took her like a few hours to honestly settle down and get to sleep. But I think within the first week of us crate training her, she would not make a peep. And even to this day, no matter what time we put her to bed, she will not cry to get up out of bed until at least like 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock. And even then we can bring her into our bedroom and she'll sleep for another 2 hours. So I think we got extremely lucky in the fact that crate training was an absolute blessing. I definitely recommend it. And obviously if you use it in the right ways, you don't use it as a punishment or anything like that. She only goes in there at night time. So I think that's all I'm going to do for eyeshadow. I just wanted to keep it quite simple. But that's what I've gone for. I think the light is still showing it a bit bright, but it's fine. Now for mascara, I've definitely used this in recent videos before of getting ready, but I just love it. It's the Maybelline The Colossal Big Shot Volume Express Mascara. Now, another expectation that Reese and I set aside before we got Nugget was we were very set on the fact that we're not going to allow Nugget to go on certain parts of the couch, in certain parts of the house where there was carpet, and especially we weren't going to let her into our bed. Because, you know, this is our first home together. You know, we've bought it, we spent a lot of money on it, we love this house. And we didn't want Nugget destroying the carpet. We didn't care about the floorboards because obviously if she was to have an accident on them, it's easy to clean up. But we just didn't want to risk her destroying the carpet or parts of the couch or just smelling up our bed. Whereas the reality of that now, she is honestly just a shadow. If you're going to get a Vizsla particularly, I don't know if other dogs are like this because I've honestly only ever owned a Vizsla. They are called Velcro for a reason. She goes everywhere we go in the house, even if we go to the toilet, because it's just Reese and I in the house, so if we go to the toilet we just leave the door open. But Nugget will follow me to the bathroom, and as I'm sitting on the toilet she will literally sit right in front of me wanting pats. You cannot do anything whilst you're home with a Vizsla without them being there right next to you. So I'm going to quickly finish up this makeup by going in with the MAC Cream Cup lipstick. I really used this for a while. I was going to go for my Velvet Teddy, but I wanted it a bit more natural looking for this kind of makeup look I'm going for. I think it's actually a bit light to what I was thinking it was going to be, so I'm just going to go in with the Revolution Pro Matte Nude Real Lipstick, so it's kind of more of a brownie colour. I think that's better. Yes, I just farted and I'm going to keep that in because I can, and everyone farts, so nothing to be ashamed of. Alrighty, so that was it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you are planning to get a puppy or you've got a Vizsla in particular, let me know if any of these tips or your expectations / realities are similar to yours. Or if you've got any other tips that even I could use with Nugget getting into the stages of life where she is now, please leave them down below and I'll definitely be reading them because I will honestly probably need it. She is a handful. I just want to quickly mention as well, all these tips / expectations, reality that I've mentioned in today's video isn't the same for everyone, and everyone has different experiences. And I'm sure as soon as I upload this video or after I finish filming, I'll probably think of a million other things I could have said as well, but this is what I've got so far. Now I might even end up doing like an updated video maybe in like a year or so. We'll see how that goes. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe down below, and if you'd like to follow myself or Nugget on Instagram, you can do that if you like. I'll leave all the details in the description box down below. Yes, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Say bye to everyone. Good girl. She is just so sick of me.